Hey everybody, this video we've done our routing to our picture frame pieces. So we've made our rabbet grooves here for our glass and backer board. If you chose to do the roundovers, you did those as well. We have that done on both pieces. In this video, we're going to do the cutting. So we're going to separate our two parts of the frame on each piece of wood. So we're going to cut this chunk out, and we're going to go over the cutting the miters with the sled. So we're going to be using bandsaws for this, but we're using two different bandsaws. So just like before, make sure you've watched the video all the way through, answer the questions, and make sure you let the teacher know you are ready to go into the shop, because you cannot do work in the shop unless the teacher's there with you. Once you've got all that taken care of, we're going to start again with our safety glasses. So we're coming over to the safety glasses cabinet. Once again, know what kind of face you have. If you do not wear glasses, you're going to grab one of the top 3 shelves. If you do wear glasses, you're going to grab a pair from the bottom 2. I do not wear glasses, so I'm going to grab some of these, put them on your face before you come into the shop, and then gently close. Okay, double check. You must be wearing safety glasses. The Black Knight will not let you through without safety glasses. And double check your teacher's ready to go. When you come into the shop, come in, gently close the door. First thing again, the first stop is hearing protection. So you're gonna come over to the cabinet, grab a pair of hearing protection. These go on immediately. Put those on. You're gonna come over, our first step is to this bandsaw. It'll be right here, this freestanding bandsaw. What we're gonna be doing is using the bandsaw and this miter sled here to cut your pieces of wood apart in a nice straight line, separating these. To do that, you'll just take one of your pieces, sit it down on that shelf so it's out of the way and safe. It's easiest to do this so that your rabbeted edge is against the sled. I've already got the sled set to 90 degrees, so it should be good. Just don't mess with the knob. You're going to keep the sled flat against the wood flat against the sled and flat against the table. You're going to line up the blade so that it is on the inside edge of the line. So you don't want to be right on the line, because you don't want to cut these short. You want to be just to the inside of blade width or so, to the inside of the line. You're going to line that up first, make sure it's flat on the table and flat against the sled. Then you're going to back that away from the blade. To turn it on, it's over here to the left of the track. Pull that toward you. And then when you cut, you're going to keep your fingers clear of the red disc. That's called the throat plate. You do not want to touch that. So one hand is out here, the other hand is keeping it flat against the fence or the miter sled. Again, I have my thumb here pinching it, and these fingers are back. So you're going to start up here nice and slow, making sure it is straight again, and cutting through at a nice gentle speed, cutting that off. You see there's still a little bit of line left, which is what we want. Okay, you want to leave that line. Set that off to the side here. You're going to take this one while it's still running, slide it over. Before you touch the blade, you want the blade now on the left side of this line. Okay, so the blade on the left side of this line, keep it flat. This is a one-handed cut now with the sled. Do your cut. Turn it off by pushing the switch in. Now you still have to wait a few seconds for this blade to stop. You know it stopped when the teeth are not moving anymore, okay? Take your scrap piece, there'll be a garbage can over here. Throw it away. Now you can see we've got these two pieces cut apart, and it's right toward the corners there. So you got one piece done. We're gonna drop those down. Grab our other piece, do the same thing with the saw off. Line up the first cut, get it flat against the table and square with the sled. Turn it on by pulling the switch. Make that cut, slide it over one-handed, cut it to all the blades on the left of the pencil line. Make your second cut, turn it off by pushing the switch in, and again, wait until the blade comes to a complete stop. There it is. Scraps away. Set your pieces down here. You're gonna grab the dustpan and broom from underneath, and you're gonna do a quick cleanup. So on top, you need to reach around behind the blade, get that off. Probably best to take this out. You just slide it out of the track. You can tap that off, set it on the clean side for now. Sweep all this off. Make sure you also get the groove, the T-track groove out of there. Get that clean. Okay, you're going to then put your miter gauge back in. To do that, notice the T shape. It goes in the T-shaped track right there. Okay. Then you've got some dust down here that we need to get as well. You get a little bit under here sometimes, and usually it's some right here. That's on this exhaust port right here. So we need to make sure that's cleaned off too. Once that's clean, check your floors. If there's a big pile of dust, you need to get that too. Dump that off, and we are ready for the next part that goes back underneath. Once you've got your pieces cut to this way, you're ready for the miters. So the miter saws, you're gonna come around here behind the red line, and you can pick either bandsaw. They are both set up exactly the same. We'll go to saw number 2 to start for this one. It says number 2 right here. Saw number 2. You always wanna make sure the sled matches the saw number because they are made specifically for each saw. To do this, you gotta make sure your dust collection is set up properly again. So you wanna make sure down here, the gate is up. We'll also trace that back here. We need our lower gate open. So gently pull that open if it's not, and then gently push the top gate closed. Don't slam it, just gently push it. And we are gonna be turning on this dust collector. I'll do that in a second after I explain how to do this. So you're gonna do one piece at a time. So take one piece, set the others down here on the workbench. It doesn't matter which angle you start with, but you need to know which one you're doing. So we'll start with this one here. To do that, you need to make sure your clamp is loosened up enough that you can get your piece of wood underneath it. And then what you're gonna do is line up your pencil line with the groove. So there's this little stop line here. That's generally right, but you're looking more at the cut mark in the back here. So you're gonna line up your pencil line right at the edge of that cut line, or what we call the kerf. You're gonna hold that nice and flat and tight against that. You're gonna get this arm on top, and you're gonna crank that down righty-tighty. Not super tight where it's like hard to turn. Get it snug, okay? You don't want it to be loose. Give it a little wiggle. If it's coming out loose or pulling away from the board, you need to retighten it, okay? Then we're gonna bring that up. We just double check it. The blade should be just to the left edge of the pencil line there, okay? So that's gonna slide like this when we're cutting. Once you got that going, you need to make sure your dust collection is on. Same as the operation as before. Pull the switch up. Also the same with the bandsaw, same type of saw. You're gonna pull the blade, pull the switch, keeping your hands back out here. You're gonna slowly cut. And then when you get to the stop, you're gonna carefully pull it straight back. When you pull it back, you always gotta go slow. This little piece we're gonna take out, set on the counter. With your piece, the sled back here, you're gonna loosen this. Loosen it enough, kind of wiggle the arm. That piece comes out, you're gonna turn it, bring it over here. Same thing, it should be loose, be careful of the blade. Then you're gonna line it up again to where the pencil line is right at the edge of the kerf in this back part here. Get it flat against the backboard, flat against the base. And then you're going to turn it and lock it down again. Again, not super tight, but to the point where it's not wiggling. Hands back. Gonna cut it again. And stop once it cuts through. Pull it very carefully straight back. I actually like to do on the sides like I'm doing here. And now if you want this point, you can turn it off. Take this piece out. You now have one piece cut. It should be right at the edge of the line. You can see a little hair pencil line, a little hair pencil line here. That's one piece. You're gonna do that for all the rest of your pieces, okay? Same process. We'll rip through these here to show. Make sure that's loose enough. You're gonna line it up with the kerf. Get that clamp on. Notice for the shorter pieces, the clamp goes right to the end of the piece. So you gotta make sure it's angled enough to get on there, that the arm is angled enough, not your wood. So again, you get that lined up, turn it on, and you're going to cut, paying attention to the stop line, loosen it up. Now that one, I didn't quite have it lined up. This piece goes to the side. Take this piece and then just rotate it over. Line it up with the kerf mark. Now it's even trickier now because that has been cut. So we've got to be careful, again, locking it down. Cutting our next piece. Stopping, pull it straight back on the sides. Take that piece off. Loosen it up. Okay, there's our small one. Again, just a little hint of pencil line on each side. Two more pieces to go. We're gonna do the same process for this. We're gonna line it up, clamp it in place, watching our fingers, they don't go past the edge of the board. Pull it back, old piece out, swapping sides, lined up with the kerf, clamping it down, pull it straight back, get that piece out. One more piece to go. Again, get it on there. Make sure you get it lined up with the kerf. So your line is lined up with the edge of the kerf there. Clamping it down. Cutting. Pulling straight back, nice and steady. Take the old piece out. If I sound like a broken record, it's because I am. Line up this last piece here with the kerf. Clamp it in. Again, this is a longer piece, so it goes a little easier there. Make sure it's flat against the backer board. Hit the stop. Come back. Shut the saw off. While that's slowing down, we'll get this unclamped. Once the saw is stopped completely, you can tell by the teeth not moving, then we're good to clean up. So we will turn the dust collector off. Now you're gonna take your pieces here and stack them up a bit first. So you want your big pieces and your little pieces. Make sure you know what's your good pieces here. And you're gonna take all your little broken bits, your cut off pieces here. We do not need these. So you'll find the garbage can. Sometimes it's over here closer, it's a little farther away. And then we gotta start sweeping up. So each saw has a dustpan and broom. This one is hanging here. This saw is hanging right here. So you're going to first clean up around the table. So getting underneath here. Even though we had dust collection on, there's gonna be some under here. We'll get this over here. You can move your pieces over, sweep that part. Okay, now we got to take the sled off in order to sweep up the rest of it. So set that down carefully without spilling all of it. The sled, you're just gonna take off carefully. And we're gonna set that on the side. We need to make sure this is cleaned out underneath, otherwise the sled won't go smoothly. So kind of like before, sweep off all the table, bring it over here. Really gotta make sure that groove is clean again because our sled uses that groove. Okay, so we're gonna get this all clean. Then we'll hit This part here again as well. That goes in the trash can. Tap that out. Broom back in the dustpan. Hang it back up on the hook. Now, when you put this back on, you have to be very careful not to drop this because it could crack it. It has this rail right here, this runner, okay? That has to fit in the T-track. So easiest way to do it is just take it here at the end, set the runner down in that groove, tip it up and slide it forward. You can slide it up here till it's flush for the next person, okay? So once you've got the whole thing cleaned off, you've got this cleaned off underneath it, and the sled is back on, and your dustpan's back up, your pieces are all picked up, then you're good to go. You're gonna grab your materials, you get your pieces here, then you're going to come back toward the hearing protection cabinet. So you've got everything cleaned up. Going to the hearing protection cabinet. You're gonna open it, take off your ears, put them back in the cabinet. Walking back to the classroom door. Open and close gently. And you're gonna come and put your safety glasses away. Once again, hold them by the bows. Make sure you fold the bows in. Put them on the correct shelf where you got them. Gently close. And then you're gonna watch the next video at your spot.